I'm going to play a clip for you guys, and I have to just put a warning out there. You know, I've never done a trigger warning before, but seriously, trigger warning. People who have watched this clip have killed themselves. I've watched it, and I have probably lost the ability to feel joy for the rest of my life. So if you want to get out of this now, if you want to leave, you know what? I understand.
Thank you.
Thanks. You're bye, Scotty. All I expect is, just give it a thumbs up before you go, so I can make money and stuff and whatever. That's fine. You don't have to watch it. It's horrible. It's the worst thing you're ever going to see in your life. You won't even believe it's real. MSNBC host Melissa Harris Perry. All right, I'm just going to play it. I can't possibly explain how dumb this is. Seriously, make sure you're ready for this. Like, if there's any sharp objects around you, go put them away. If you have access to a firearm, give it to someone else for safekeeping. Take your bed sheets and shit, lock them up in a chest and throw away the key. Anything that you could conceivably use to kill yourself. Just make sure it's out of your vicinity. You might even want to have someone come in and cover their ears and not look at the screen, but just, be there to monitor you to make sure that you don't end it all. And, if you have any sort of emotional sensitivity of any kind, don't watch this clip. All right, I feel like I've trigger warned enough. Although, I don't know. I really don't want to play it, but fuck, here it is.
The current Republican Party into why.
But let's be fair. If there's somebody who is a hard worker, when he goes to Washington, is Paul Ryan. Not only works with the Republicans, but Democrats. You know very well that I work on the immigration issue, trying to get Republicans to support immigration reform. Paul Ryan is somebody who has supported immigration reform, has worked with somebody like Luis Gutierrez. Luis Gutierrez is very respectful, speaks highly of Paul Ryan. This is somebody who's trying to govern.
Alfonso, I feel you, but I just want to pause on one thing, because I don't disagree with you that I actually think Mr. Ryan is a great choice for this role. But I want us to be super careful when we use the language hard worker, because, I actually keep an image of folks working in cotton fields on my office wall, because it is a reminder about what hard work looks like. So I feel you that he's a hard worker. I do, but in the context of relative privilege. And I
Don't do it, TJ.
Oh, sweet
Yeah, so
death,
much to live
sweet
for.
death, sweet death!
Oh, wait, really don't. Yeah, you might as well. Like, just remember, I get all your money, right?
All right, so that's the level of shit we're getting offended about now. So, you know what? Fine. You know what? If you can't beat them, join them. Here's a list of things that are now offensive. You know the word pussyfooting? You don't really hear that too much anymore. It means to act in a cautious or non-committal way. Like, how Barack Obama said he was going to close Guantanamo Bay, but then when he got in office, he just did a bunch of pussyfooting around, But that word is offensive to people with no feet or to people with ugly feet. It's also misogynist because it has the word pussy in it. And it's especially offensive to people who are into foot insertion porn. Similarly, lollygagging. That's insensitive to anyone who's ever choked on a lollipop or has known someone who's choked on a lollipop. And another problem is we're always hitting things, This is a really problematic aspect of our language. Hitting the books, hitting the showers, hitting the sack, hitting the road, hitting someone up for a favor. You hit the nail on the head. What's with all the hitting, people? Come on, it marginalizes victims of violence, especially domestic violence, It normalizes violence and creates the expectation that violence is okay, that it's an all right solution to a problem. It's this kind of language that leads to all these mass shootings in America. Now, some people, when they talk about throwing up, or they talk about exaggerating their disgust, they said, I lost my lunch, or I almost lost my lunch. Yeah, well, at least you have a lunch. Think of all the people in this country and in this world who don't have a lunch, or a breakfast, or a dinner. People are starving on this planet. And you have the gall to sit around talking about your lunch? Oh, I lost my lunch. Well, you know what? At least you had a fucking lunch to lose. You privileged first world problem motherfucker. You don't need to be rubbing that shit in people's faces. And in fact, that's another term that needs to go. Rubbing it in their faces. You shouldn't be doing that to people, especially without their informed and constant consent. Another term, sit tight. What about people who are in wheelchairs? They have no choice but to sit tight. What about people who are so crippled that they have to lay in bed all day? Yeah, you didn't think about the differently abled, did you? And what about, and unfortunately, so many women have to sit tight because there's no room on public transportation because of the ongoing epidemic of man-spreading. Close those legs, guys. So what if you have to crush your balls in the process? You don't need those things anyway. They're an antiquated relic of a more patriarchal time. And sometimes when people try to quit something, like, I'm trying to quit smoking, they say, quitting cold turkey. That means they're giving it up entirely. This is highly offensive to vegans and vegetarians. They have to hear this disgusting analogy about a bird, a sentient being who was callously and brutally murdered, and then their corpse frozen in a meat locker or freezer or refrigerator. They have to hear about all of that horrible, graphic, grisly detail just because you decided you were going to quit. I mean, that's disgusting. Disgusting use of language. Another disgusting use of language. Face the music. It's time to come home and face the music, Bill. You shot 15 people. Now it's time to face the music. Well, I think that's extremely offensive to the deaf who don't have the ability to hear the music, let alone face it. It's also offensive to those who don't have faces or who have ugly faces. I'm sorry, appearance deficits.
Or the blind.
In the facial area. You say the blind too? Yeah, I mean, if you're blind,
How can they face it?
You could face the music, but you're not going to be able to see the band. Highly offensive, disgusting term. So problematic. And there's a lot of people that talk about the rule of thumb. The rule of thumb, which is just another way of saying a general principle. It's a good rule of thumb that when you're jacking someone off, you should lick their balls too. But not everyone has thumbs. A lot of people, they're thumbless. And a lot of animals don't even have fingers at all. They have hooves. And a lot of people might have traumas related to thumbs. Like imagine if when you were a little kid, your creepy uncle snuck into your room and stuck his thumb up your ass. How are you going to feel about thumbs then? The last thing you want to be hearing about is some fucking thumbs. It's disgusting. These things should come with a trigger warning. In fact, I should blur these out. Good, yeah. Two very similar ones because they both deal with situations that are supposedly easy and they both deal with baked goods. Piece of cake and easy as pie. Both of those extremely insensitive to those with eating disorders and also to those who are trying to diet, trying to watch their sugar, people with diabetes, for instance. And another thing is, not everything is easy for everyone. Just because something's easy for you doesn't mean it's easy for everybody. That's othering. That's making people feel bad just because they don't have the same abilities that you do. It's really privileged. It's really disgusting. Why the long face? That is offensive to horses as well as to Jenny McDermott. Also offensive to horses is the word hey. People are always saying this shit to each other. Hey, 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 how you doing? Hey, what's up? Hey, 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 hey. You think a horse wants to hear that? You know, a horse hears hay, he thinks, oh, where's the hay? Where's the hay? He can't find it. You know why? Because there isn't any. It's false advertising. You got his hopes up. You cock-teased that horse. You cock-teased the horse. Can I still say cock-tease? No, it's offensive to roosters. Shit. Another term, screwing the pooch. Oh, man, you killed your entire family in a fucking dishwasher accident. You really screwed the pooch on this one, Jeb. That's offensive to zoophiles, who maybe really do want to screw the pooch. There's nothing wrong with that. Who are we to judge? Who with our offensive language? You know, we just feel like we can just hurt anyone's feelings willy-nilly. I'm sorry to anyone named Willie. I didn't mean that. And I'm sorry to anyone who thinks of a willy as a term for penis, because I know that can be traumatizing for victims of rape. I mean, I better just stop talking. We need to reevaluate the way we do language in this country. You know, maybe we just need a new language. Maybe it could just have one word. We could just go, pick a word, Scotty. The. Just walk around. The. Imagine how much easier reading Shakespeare in school will be. You know, none of that, what light through yonder window. Fuck that shit. Yeah! This could work. The.